This team is no fluke. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another video of Sports Talk Buffalo. Before we go any further, I want to remind you guys to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a video. Also, remember to check out my Teespring store. Link is in the description below. The Buffalo Sabres have shown flashes all season long of being a good team. However, the one thing that they lacked for the entire season is consistency. They have failed to win on a consistent basis all year long, even though we had seen flashes of what they could be. Now, of course, a lot of that is due to the fact that the Buffalo Sabres had a tremendous amount of injuries, at one point being down to all the way their sixth string goaltender. However, they are now completely healthy, and all of those consistency issues have changed starting at the beginning of March. The Buffalo Sabres in their last 19 games have been a very, very good team, going 10-6-3. This would put the Buffalo Sabres on pace for a full 82-game season at 43-26-13, which would give them 99 points and hopefully a wild card spot in the NHL playoffs. Now, in those 19 games, the Buffalo Sabres top line has been absolutely dynamite and consistently good throughout, as Tage Thompson has risen to the level of a number one center, and also Jeff Skinner has come out and had a really tremendous bounce back season, no doubt giving Ralph Krueger absolute fits as he scores 30 goals again in his career. In the last 19 games, Tage Thompson has had 10 goals and 8 assists for 18 points. Jeff Skinner's had 10 goals and 7 assists for 17 points. And coming up from behind is Alex Tuch. He's had 3 goals and 8 assists. Not quite as productive as the other two. However, all three of these guys together have been almost unstoppable on a nightly basis for the Buffalo Sabres. Now, in this 19-game stretch, the Sabres do not have to simply rely on one line to do all of their scoring like we have seen in recent memory when we had Jack Eichel, and that number one line was essentially the only line that would produce for the Buffalo Sabres on a consistent basis. The Sabres now have multiple lines that are contributing almost every single night. A couple of guys who are having a very good stretch of games is, of course, Casey Middlestat, who is coming off of injury and has finally started to look like he's in game shape. He's really rounding into shape. And in these last 19 games, he's had 3 goals and 10 assists for 13 points. And of course, coming off of an injury, he looked like he was struggling all year long. A lot of people were saying, trade him. Let's get rid of this guy. He's not the player he used to be. He's a one-trick pony, is Victor Olofsson. And Victor Olofsson and his shot are now back on track. And for me, I don't get rid of Victor Olofsson. He is a legitimate top 6 forward and a very good contributor. In the last 19 games, he actually leads the Buffalo Sabres in goals with 11 goals, and he added 4 assists in those 19 games for 15 points. Now, during this span, the Buffalo Sabres have had seemingly little trouble scoring, as they've averaged over 3 goals per game. This is something that we have not been able to say about the Sabres, who in recent memory have had a lot of trouble scoring, but they are now getting scoring up and down their lineup, even their fourth line. With Kyle Okposo, I believe he has 11 points in his last 19 games. He has continued to produce, even playing with Cody Eakin and Zemgus Girgensons. The Buffalo Sabres, of course, are still a couple pieces away, but they are so much better than I think almost anybody, except for myself, predicted that they would be. However, even though they have played very well over these last 19 games, it's still evident that the Buffalo Sabres struggle in their own zone. They have been outscored in these 19 games 62-58. A -4 goals against shows that the Buffalo Sabres still have a little bit of work to do in their own defensive end. Now, hopefully, with the recent news of the signing of the Sabres' 2021 first overall pick, defenseman Owen Power, will help shore up the back end as he looks to get a small taste of the NHL and play in the Buffalo Sabres and potentially play in the Buffalo Sabres' last 8 games of this season. Power is coming off of an incredibly solid season at Michigan, which saw them go to the Frozen Four and lose in overtime to, I believe, Denver, who moved on to the NCAA championship. That Michigan team was absolutely loaded, so it was a very disappointing result. However, the Buffalo Sabres will benefit from that as they will sign one of their 2 prospects in Owen Power, who will join the Sabres, as I said, for the last 8 games. Now, Owen Power had a solid season this year, which saw him score 3 goals, 29 assists for 32 points, and he was a +26 in 33 games. Power was selected as the second-team All-American in the NCAA. He was a Big Ten All-Defensive Player finalist, and he was a first-team All-Big Ten this past season. Now, while Owen Power surely won't eliminate the problem at the back end for the Buffalo Sabres and their defensive zone coverage, it will certainly help going a long way to shore up the defensive zone for these last few games of this season. All in all, the Buffalo Sabres have been a very fun and exciting team to watch this last month and a half. And while they still have many holes to fill in this team in this upcoming offseason, provided they can continue to play the way that they have in these last 19 games for the last 8 games, and then hopefully continue it into next season, the Buffalo Sabres may finally be ready to step out of the darkness and into the light. That's going to do it for this episode of Sports Talk Buffalo. Thank you guys for listening. Remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a single video. I talk Sabres, I talk Bills, I talk UB Bulls, men's basketball and football right here on this page. Again, remember to check out my Teespring store. Link is in the description below. Every shirt you buy helps me continue to produce quality content for everyone here. Thank you guys for listening. Have a fantastic week.